And just like this, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our stream. We are your hosts today. I'm Anya with Restream Marketing Team, and joining me today is Matt. How are you?
I'm Matt. Hey everyone. I work here at Restream Product. Really excited to show you something new today.
We are super excited. This is one of the streams that we were really looking forward to do for a long time. We had a little break in summer, but we are back. And today we are talking about Restream Pairs, the best way to use the help of your guests and their audience to reach more viewers. So without further ado, we are going to ask you real quick to let us know in the chats where in the world are you watching from as we're warming up, and we are going to start very soon. So just to give you an idea of what's going to happen next, we are going to give you a demonstration of this feature, Restream Pairs, as well as show a bunch of use cases and real life examples of how people are using this feature. And then we will have a little live demonstration that will allow you, the viewers, to pair your channels with this stream so you can actually experience how it feels to rebroadcast someone else's live show. And after that, we will take even more questions and announce a few winners, because folks who are active reposting and pairing with us will get some special prizes from Restream. All right. I see some comments in the chat that are looking really cool. There's someone, Abel is mentioning that they're watching from Oregon. I see Memphis. I see Charlotte. I see Rock Hill. That is so cool.
Nice.
Oxford, Michigan. This is awesome. I love this question because it's so easy to answer and it gives so much excitement to see where people are watching from. USA. Okay, that's
No,
big.
someone from Bulgaria. Nice.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. That's Max. Hi, Max. Austin, Texas. Hello, Steven. France is from Heidi. That's awesome. Good to see you
Hey,
guys here.
Steven.
Hi, Steven. Leslie's watching from Georgia, and I use Pairs Weekly Sales Gems. That's awesome.
All
I
right.
would love to hear your stories and like some of your insights, as we'll be showcasing some of the examples. South Africa, that's awesome. I love how big the geography is today. Like, we're seeing people from all different continents and different parts of the world. This is amazing, Emma. We will also have a few moderators. Our awesome support team is in the chat today, so feel free to ask other questions as well, and our support team will try to take as many as possible. Live, we will be mostly taking the questions about guests, rebroadcasting your channels, and pairing, but definitely don't hold back. Ask whatever you want to know. Alrighty, so let's get started with our stream and our program today. So for those who are new to Restream and just joining us for the first time, just a quick reminder, Restream is the easiest and the best way to create live videos and broadcast them on all social channels. You can start with just one channel and one destination. Maybe you're exclusively streaming on YouTube or LinkedIn or something like that. So you can use Restream Studio to create those videos and share them with your social followers. But we are mostly known for being multicasting or multi-streaming solution that allows you to stream your live videos at the same time at over 30 different destinations. When we say destinations, we mean places like YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and even custom destinations like your customer TP servers or SRT. And today, our big topic is how we can do multi-streaming and rebroadcasting even beyond the channels and the communities that you have. So more than just your multiple channels, but also channels of your guests.
All right, exactly. So thank you, Anya. And just as Anya said, Restream is best known for multi-streaming to multiple channels at the same time. But who owns those channels? It's you, right? The host. And anyone knows that your audience is somewhat limited. There is a certain ceiling to the number of people that can follow you and that see whenever you go live. So we ask ourselves, how could we go beyond that? Like, how could we help you grow your audience? And don't worry, it's not with ads. This was something much better. We call it paired channels. And in a nutshell, it's really the channels of your guests. So today we're giving you a very easy way to invite anyone to sort of rent out their social media channels so they could rebroadcast what you're streaming to their audience. This gives you a very unique way to gain a new audience that is still relevant but goes outside of your typical bubble, right? And you might be asking what the guest gets in return. Well, they get fresh and unique content on their social. So this is not just some repost on social media. This is a live stream as if they created it themselves to their audience. So it's a very unique type of content. And we all know it's very difficult to create content these days. So with pairs, you can basically unlock a whole new type of content that you can deliver to your audience. Let me show you quickly how it actually works. So first, we're going to take a look at the side of the host. So as a host of the stream, you're running the show. On any stream setup in Restream, you can just grab a pair link and share it with anyone. This works for streams run through Restream Studio. So that means if you're streaming from your browser with us, or if you have a third-party encoder like OBS, and you running your show there, but you are still using Restream to deliver your content to multiple channels at the same time. So even then, you can use paired channels. All right, so we have the paired link. You are sharing it with your friend, your guest, whoever, right? How does it look like once they click on that link? So let's go next. So once they open your link, they basically arrive at a new screen that shows them who's inviting them. So that would be you in this case. What's the stream name? And then they can simply just pair their social media. By the way, I really want to emphasize that this is super secure, actually. So none of your passwords or account access is ever shared with the host. So let me repeat, the host cannot see your private messages or they cannot control your account. They really just are allowed to stream once this specific content to your audience. And the best part is when the stream ends, it automatically disconnects. So all of your channels automatically disconnect. All right.
This is a very good point. Sorry to inject a little bit here, because on the product marketing side, I do review a lot of chats and a lot of support conversations and just genuine conversations with our creators. And this is literally the major reservation, because every time I ask people, why in the world would you not rebroadcast and amplify your event with the help of your podcast guests or other collaborators, maybe your founders, maybe your investors even? The main question is, oh, I'm not sure I want this team, this host, this podcast to have access to my channel, to have access to everything, which is super important to understand that that's not happening. It's a one-way street. You open it for one event. You basically allow the access to your viewers and your followers, and then once the event is over, there's nothing else we as hosts could see on the paired channels. We cannot post on their behalf. We cannot see their messages. We cannot make any changes to your profiles. So that is just a pure rebroadcasting opportunity.
That's correct, Anya. And by the way, as you've seen in this short video, we actually support 30 plus channels, social media channels. So if your guest is maybe, on Twitch, for example, but you're typically streaming on YouTube and Facebook, this is how you can unlock a completely new platform as well. Yep. All right, so we've paired the channels, right? In this very case, it was my personal channels that I have actually paired to our company stream today. And let's see how that looks like for the host on the other side. So once the channels are connected, we sent an email to both to the host and the guest just as a final check, so everybody's certain of what's going to get streamed. Then on their respective home screens, the guest and the host both see the upcoming stream. And as a host, you can even go into your list of channels and see all of the paired channels listed. Of course, you can unpair them, or you can temporarily disable them if, for example, you want to stream only a specific segment of your stream to their channels. Once you're done with pairing and maybe you don't need it anymore for your stream setup, just turn it off, reset the link, and it basically is no longer possible to pair to your event, and any previously paired channels would be disconnected. So as Anya mentioned, it's really a one-way street. This way, you can just pick a very specific event that you have coming up, ask your guests and maybe even your colleagues or whoever is relevant, some influencers possibly, to connect their channels and help you, spread the message even further. So this is in a nutshell how paired channels work. We have much more material in our help center and so on, but to see them really in action, we're going to take a look at a few multi-streaming use cases. So Anya, take it away.
That's right. The major question here is like, okay, cool. So what? What does it actually mean for me? What does it actually mean for my type of content and my type of use case for live streaming? So we prepared a few very specific examples that are our real customers and real users that we can show you so you can actually see what are the benefits, what is the value, and what are like the specific real life examples. So let's dive in. Example number one. Imagine you are a podcast, right? And you have guests, you invite your guests. That's the whole content is centered around the expertise of your speakers. This example right here is TBPN. This is a very cool tech news podcast with founders and interviews around media and tech and market shifts in general. Actually, highly recommend checking them out. And they invite guests of like variety from variety of industries. But one thing that they all have in common that they're very, very high profile guests. In this example, they are talking to one of the most well-known YouTubers, Casey Neistat, and of course, just in a week, I think, or in a few days from now, they are actually interviewing Mark Zuckerberg. So that's the level of guests that they have. The podcast itself has 95,000 followers on X only, and they also have YouTube and other channels. But Casey has over 2 million followers on X only. And of course, his YouTube is massive. And of course, other social presence is there. So when podcasts like TBPN invite guests like Casey and they want to get extra exposure for their podcast, they could easily pair with Casey. So Casey could simply pair his YouTube and his X by just clicking the link and doing the toggle that we demonstrated earlier. And all of a sudden, TBPN gets this extra exposure through the channels. What's in it for Casey? Well, he gets unique content. He gets this unique opportunity to broadcast his interview where he shares his thoughts and his ideas with the host. It's very easy content for him to produce because he is being served questions. He simply answers them. And that's how it becomes a win-win. So TBPN gets extra exposure. Casey gets new and unique content. So
Yeah,
that's
and you know what I really like about the TBPN is that it's such a unique show that invites really high profile guests, and there's many of them in one show. So typically when you're listening to a podcast, it's just like one guest, but they have so many, and every time it's such a joy to listen. And so if they have several speakers for different segments, they could actually allow them all to pair their channels and grow their audience even further, right? So imagine if they have Casey times 6, right? They have 6 such people. Like, just imagine the reach that they would be getting. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that they're not doing that yet. I mean, they are actually testing the feature, so we will definitely, hopefully, see that in action very soon. So we talked about podcasters and podcast guests, but if you're sitting there and thinking, what the hell, I am not TBPN. I do not have access to Mark Zuckerberg. I am not running podcasts with high profile guests. What is it for me in that case? Well, there are other applications. For example, if you are working as a marketer or a product manager in a company, could be tech company or any other type of company, you could still benefit from using Pairs as a co-marketing or integrations, launches, and demos. Here's an example of another real creator who is using Restream for their demos and announcements. HeyGen has been our customer for a long time, and recently they announced integration with 11 Labs. This is related to AI voice technology, and of course, HeyGen creates realistic AI avatars to host videos for you. So they announced integration how 11 Labs bring in their AI voices into HeyGen platform. And the whole stream was broadcasted on HeyGen channels because they were the drivers of that integration, right? Like they shared it with their community. HeyGen currently reaches approximately 300,000 people across their YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. However, the following of 11 Labs is additional close to 400,000, like 365,000 followers to be exact. So if 11 Labs were to pair with this live demonstration of their integration with HeyGen and rebroadcasted that stream on both all HeyGen channels as well as 11 Labs channels, the reach could have been doubled easily. And remember that this is extremely relevant audience because the integration is between the two tools and two platforms. So the followers of both of those channels and communities are extremely interested and could truly benefit from that demo. And the views could have doubled or tripled. So that's something to consider if you are doing co-marketing activities or integration activities with other companies. And it can be also on a way smaller scale. Even if you're just doing some kind of a collab with another local company, you could still do that and reach a lot more people by simply pairing. All right, next example, and just as a reminder for those who are just joining us, because I know it's live, people are coming and going, this is Restream team. We're doing a live demo of Restream Pairs. This allows you to grow your views by streaming on your guest channels, and we're showing you exactly how to do it and what are the real life examples of how that works. So we covered the podcasters, we covered the co-marketing or integration activations between marketing and product teams. But what about offline events? Imagine you are running an event that is just like an offline industry conference. Great example is Saster, another customer and user of Restream. They have this annual conference where they invite entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs, and CMOs, and they basically talk about the SaaS business, right? Software as a service. And they have really high-profile guests and speakers on the stage. So Saster, as a company, as an event, is reaching close to 250,000 followers across channels. But their guests are super high profile. They are the level of Casey. They are the level of Mark Zuckerberg. So what if, when they invited their panelists, they could, in advance, invite their social teams to pair the channels of those high-profile panelists and rebroadcast those events, those specific panel sessions on their channels? That could have given Saster massive reach, of course. And again, what's in it for guests? They get this unique content that they share with their audiences when they do their panel, when they do their speech. And it's also live. It's not reposted or shared later. It is actually broadcasted as it's happening. So it's not, in the past tense, because that's already happened if you're reposting or repurposing. But that's something that they could bring to their communities live in real time. And as Matt mentioned, since we allow midstream pairing, if one of those stages has 5 different panelists, it's very easy for producers of the event to rebroadcast very specific panels on very specific groups of channels. Is that right, Matt?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. The way it really works is that basically those people can, pair at any point in time, right? So they can do that before, or even if they're running late, like, on the morning of the day, or like even actually during the live stream itself. In this case of a conference, obviously they would pair upfront, but the producer can basically just manage all of these channels and turn them off, when someone else is speaking, and when another guest comes on, just like swap out the channels. And what's really cool about this is that not only if Saster has, for example, they stream on LinkedIn, right? So they have someone who has a big LinkedIn following. Obviously, this can help them bring in more people from this platform, but it can also sort of cross-pollinate with other platforms' audiences, because maybe Saster never considered really going outside of the typical, business channels like LinkedIn and X. But I don't know right now, but I assume they're not on Twitch, for example. But if they, and they do invite some influencers who are on different types of social media, this way they can reach whole new sets of people, and get sort of like more eyeballs on the content that they do on this conference. So as a sort of marketing strategy, I find this really inspiring, because this is how you can very quickly just, double or multiply the views that you would be typically getting.
And we're starting to kind of give you this concept that the guests do not necessarily have to be in studio. They don't have to be virtual. They don't have to enter the studio space as they speak. So they can actually be physically somewhere else as they are supporting and amplifying the event. But I think the use case and the example that brings this home even better is the example of sports and media teams. MotoGP, another Restream notable user and customer, they are streaming live races as well as press conferences, behind the scenes, and highlights on their own channels. But they have amazing athletes, the riders, who have massive followings and big communities of fans all over the world. Obviously, it is very difficult to live stream anything when you are riding a motorcycle. I haven't tried that. I do not recommend anyone to try that. As a former extreme sports participant and practitioner, I would say it's probably not recommended. However, with Restream Pairs, again, the producers of MotoGP could connect the channels of the athletes and rebroadcast the relevant events on their channels and like get this massive reach. And on top of just athletes, it could be done with sponsors. Let's imagine somebody like Red Bull would be interested in doing the highlight reel or the final of the race in Austin, Texas. They could easily pair the Red Bull channel and get this specific piece of live stream shared with their audiences. Great value for advertisers, great value for MotoGP brand, and definitely good for everyone who is interested in motorsports. And yet another question for all of those who is watching us today in the gaming industry, both game developers, game publishers, and just gamers. Recently, there was an event that was streamed through Restream when DC dropped the skins in Fortnite. There was a big collaboration between the two brands. And the stream went live on Fortnite channels, as you can see here. It was marked as a collaboration with DC. But what happened is Fortnite has 13 million followers. That's a lot. That's a huge reach already, obviously. But DC could have brought additional 5 million subscribers on YouTube only to this event. And what's interesting here, as they demonstrated this collaboration, they also had a bunch of influencers and gaming creators participate in this. So imagine if gaming creators could have paired their channels for this big announcement, or the other way around. So basically, one option is for the influencers to rent their audience and rebroadcast this event to those people who are already interested in Fortnite and DC. And maybe the other way around, Fortnite and DC channels could have paired with some of the influencers and actually brought in some gameplay from their top approved creators. So basically, this pairing works both ways, right? It just depends on who is the host. And that's a great opportunity to bring new, fresh content to the audiences that are super relevant to the topic. And just a quick last example, just to bring back the point that your hosts, your guests, your pairs do not have to be present in your live stream. Currently, this exact live stream that you're watching is live on all Restream channels. We have X, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and a few other channels. But of course, us hosts, Anya and Matt, paired our own channels. So some of you might be watching this event on my LinkedIn or on Matt's X. But other team members are pairing too. Hi friends who are watching on our own channel. I know that our CEO, Alex, paired his X, so you might be watching us there. Our producer, Charles, is here pairing either already or he's about to do that live. Lawson from our marketing team, and many others. So that's an opportunity for you to think about who on your team has the audience and has potential viewers and followers who'd be interested in the event, and invite them to amplify it. So any product demo, any launch, any announcement could go way beyond your company page, but go on individual channels, pages, and profiles of people who are part of that team. And with that, I would love to go ahead and check out our live chats because we've covered so much earlier. I'm sure people have questions, so let's take a look at what is going on in our live chats. All right.
So what's there?
All right. So I see Kevin is asking, can you still stream to TikTok? I'm assuming you're asking in general, and I'll cover that question first, and then we will also mention about the pairing TikTok channel. So currently, yes, you can stream on TikTok through Restream. There are certain limitations that TikTok introduced in terms of like the type of content. So if you are a gaming creator, you can easily connect TikTok through Restream and basically rebroadcast to TikTok. If you are a non-gaming creator, there are certain limitations that they introduce. So basically, they do not approve automatically creators to stream through Restream to TikTok. You can still apply and see if you pass their controls, basically. And just as a reminder, we are in active conversation with TikTok. If someone from TikTok is listening, we would love to allow multi-streaming for all types of creators, but right now the priority is given to gamers. That's decision on TikTok's side, and we are actively working to make sure we serve all creators. Can you pair a TikTok channel if you are approved to stream on TikTok and if you have it connected? You absolutely can pair. You can pair and rebroadcast on TikTok. Good question. What else? All right. Abel is asking, is this copyright if we use others' content? Good question. I'm not a lawyer, so quick disclaimer. That's something I
Disclaimer,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on what kind of content that is. I'm starting to think music, maybe some kind of like insights in movies, or maybe even something like what we shared with Fortnite and DC. Like those things could be subject to copyright, and maybe that's something to check in with the host. But if it is something like the event that we're hosting right now, I do believe that the consent of the host to invite you and to allow you to pair should be enough. We have never heard of any issues that people had when it comes to podcasts or demos or live launches or even MotoGP stuff, type content. I know they do pair with some of their sponsors and with some of their um, the channels that have rights to rebroadcast the content. So definitely subject to check in with your host, and like the bigger and the more important the event is, more important is to make sure
Yeah.
you're doing that. But I do not think that for most of us creators that should not be an issue, as long as you get the consent of hosts, which you have to because they have to
Exactly.
allow you to pair,
Exactly. You need
right?
it's an agreement between the host and the guest, right? So basically, you need to be very careful in general what you stream on your live stream, if you're not, breaking any laws and so on. But if you're doing that with your own content, this only gives you an additional audience, and you agree that it basically gets passed to someone else. So as long as both parties agree, it should be fine. I see there was an interesting question from James, who's been using this quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
let's bring it
dun,
up.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So James, you're asking about advancements on bringing RTMP feed comments via pairs. So basically, when the guest who pair stream on channels that support like chat relay, which basically means we can get the comments. It appears to the host and they can display it on the stream, right? So even right now, if someone is actually commenting on some of our pair channels, we see those comments coming in. So this way, like the comments come in, but there is one caveat. Just for security reasons, the hosts cannot post replies or messages into the paired channels. Only the person who owns the channels can moderate their own chat. So you can still get, the comments, but only the guests themselves need to be basically on top of their own chat, if that makes sense. Yeah, what else is there?
I use pairs weekly. I love it. That's
Nice,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, James, if you want to share a little bit in the comments while we're taking this other question, like what is your use case? Like what type of pairing do you do? Is it your guest on the podcast? Is it something more like integration style, collaboration, influencers? Are you renting your audience to your sponsors? That would be lovely to hear. And I see the question from Tariq. Feels like this has been there for a while. Are there functionality changes or just highlighting the previously existing functionality? It's a good question, Tariq. I love that you asked that because there
Yeah,
are definitely changes.
oh,
So, a
absolutely.
little bit of history. In 2021, I was privileged to be part of creating this feature. I remember how our CEO and our team in general came up with it. We like drew it on the napkin. It all started with the question of what is that the users and the creators need the most. What is like one common problem between every single content creator? And that was get more views, right? Like even if you're a giant channel, you're still facing this problem. I want to reach more people. I want to grow. So at that moment, we realized that we have guest feature and so many people have wonderful high profile guests. And what if we could allow those guests to add their channels and amplify every single stream? So from there, we spent about a month in Kiev with our wonderful development team and basically built a prototype, and then we launched it. And now, fast forward to 2025, with Matt's help as a product lead on this one, we are reimagining pairs. So this is basically pairs 2.0 with some additional functionalities. One of them we already covered, that is midstream pairing, that basically allows you to pair in the middle of the stream, not only pre-pair before the event starts, but there are also a few other things that we will be
Yeah,
covering shortly.
exactly. We'll get to that in a little bit, so stay with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay with us to learn what changed between the original pairs and pairs 2.0. Ricky, so can we have people add their streams while the broadcast is live again? Because for time, it seemed that the pair was only possible before the stream launched. That's exactly right. Yes, that is the big change between original pairs and pairs now. Midstream pairing is possible.
Yeah, it's much more real time.
Nice.
All right,
Let's
what else is
see.
there?
Justin, Wind Dancer Media. I love that name. I love the names of channels, by the way. I always like enjoy calling them out because they're so good. I'm going to check this out to see if this works for me. Actually, you can do it literally right now because our next section is the interactive moment
Okay,
for
let's go for it.
the most brave people. So let's pair your channels right now because some of you asked these questions. Will this work in the middle of the stream? Is this going to be real time? How difficult is that? How secure is that? What is the actual flow and the process for the guest? Well, you can actually find out right at this moment. You can scan this QR code over there. That's one option. Another option is to click the link in the chat because right now our wonderful support team, Modes, who are helping us today, as well as Charles, who is our co-producer, are going to drop the link with pairing to this exact stream in the chat. So if you're watching on Restream channels such as YouTube, LinkedIn, or X, you should be receiving this link in the chat right now. You can simply copy and paste it and click it. If you already have a Restream account, remember there's an opportunity to log in to it. If you don't, you will be prompted to create an account. It's very simple and quick. It's just email address or log in with your Google account. Once you do that, you will have an option to add channels to this specific stream, which means that this part of the stream, starting from right now, will be rebroadcasted to a channel. If you are doing that, just kind of like test it out, you of course can delete the stream afterwards. If you choose to keep it, then we will review a few people that paired with us today, and you will get a prize from Restream. It's going to be Restream Professional Plan with all of our professional features for 1 month free of charge. So there's a little incentive to do it and to be brave today. And while you guys are going through the process by either scanning this QR code or clicking the links and pairing, so you could experience this as guests of your future paired streams, we are going to cover what's new in pairs. So what changed between the original 2021 pairs and pairs 2.0? Take it away.
All right, a lot of things, to be honest. So the first and foremost, and we've mentioned that on a couple of occasions, pair channels are now very real time. So there's no more like a specific window within which you need to connect the channels. You can do that at any point in time. So once you get the link, just connect your channels, and it can be 2 days before, it can be months in advance, but it can be also as you are joining the actual stream, right? So maybe you forgot about it or you didn't really plan for it. So now every time, if pairing is enabled on a studio link, you can just do that immediately as you're joining or after you join or even after the stream goes live. So this way you basically like pair at any given point in time. Second, we are giving the host much more control over this. So they can turn on and off their channels. And it seems that okay, people are pairing already. Nice. Okay, so that's great. Anya will show us how many paired channels we got in a little bit. But basically, the host can control the channels at any point in time, right? So, for example, they can turn off, after 5 minutes of an introduction with some sponsor, they can turn their channels off and bring in a guest and start basically streaming a specific segment to the guest pair channels. And this way they have full control over the pair channels. We took it even further, and actually we now display the titles and the streaming status of the pair channels to the host. So for example, if I'm pairing to the show, I actually renamed the post for my own audience on LinkedIn a little bit because, I didn't want the notion of there being like another same name stream. So I added my own title, and I can add my own custom details. But now we also, if the guest does that, we show that also to the host. So as a host, you see who paired, how they called this stream, and when the channels go live, you actually see that they are live. And to support all of this, we've completely rebuilt our join screen. So we've added lots of information about the stream itself, who's running the show, what's it called, and if it's scheduled, what's the date when it's coming up. Also, once you share the links with other people, they should look much more beautiful. So all this information about the stream and who's running the show is actually already rendering as you share the link on WhatsApp and so on. So we've removed lots of the blockers and hurdles from this feature, made it much more sort of subtle. And yeah, we've already heard that when people started testing it, they basically are much more successful this time because there's no more time constraint. They can pair at any time. So hopefully, give it a try and let us know what you think, because we're still looking to improve it further. So definitely give us feedback. We're all ears.
So I'm smiling like a crazy person because while you were pointing out the new things about Restream Pairs, I've been watching how many people paired with us right now today, and I am just just amazed how many wonderful pair channels we got. So like we're actually right now experiencing this restream effect of rebroadcasting this message to so many different channels. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick here just to show you what just happened. And I'm going to refresh my home screen one more time just to make sure I get to feature every single new pair that we have. And this is my host's view of the channels, right? So these are my channels, so like the key channels that we activated to start the stream. And these are paid channels, pair channels. We have 24 people who connected their channels to the stream. I am like mind blown. I remember we're thinking about like, will we even have any takers? And we did. I'm so proud. So I'm seeing the KLRN radio. Brody Rick. So also KLNR Radio paired their custom RTMP channel, which is awesome because that's a very
That's nice.
special thing to do. Technicom 360 Studios, Tom Stream, Wind Dancer Media on Twitch, as well as Rick Costa on Twitch as well. Rick Costa on, I want to say it's Rumble. Also Rick Costa on Kick. That's awesome. Shirley's Wig Shop. Hi there. This is YouTube. Imagine Studios. Tariq, who asked a question earlier, his YouTube is here as well. James Hicks with his ex. Thank you so much for doing the demonstration with us. James Hicks' YouTube channel is here, as well as Leslie's Lessons Learned. I would love to check this out because I would like to learn some lessons from Leslie, because Leslie is awesome. She's brave. She rebroadcasted this stream to her both YouTube and Facebook. So this is absolutely fascinating. You guys are great. I'm like overwhelmed. Like I did not expect so many amazing people to connect. And as you can see, we're at 24 channels right now. I'm going to refresh just in case someone else paired last minute, just to see if to make sure we didn't miss anybody. But that's a lot of channels to pair. Matt, do you want to say how many total you can
Yeah, I'm
do?
really curious if we're gonna hit the limit. So
Wait.
I think the limits are pretty generous. You can invite for pairing. You can invite up to 20 people, and they get 2 pair channels each. If they're on a paid account, they can pair even more channels. And basically, if they want to join your stream and be on screen in studio, that limit is 10 people on screen. But even those who cannot sort of fit in, they can still pair their channels. So as you can see, we have a pretty long list here. That's wild. Thank you all, guys, like for being brave enough and sort of restreaming the segment to your channels. We love it. That's awesome.
That is awesome. I'm just going to showcase them nice and clear one more time. You guys are the best, and we're getting into our team. So that's our that's Alex, our CEO. All right. I'm still like stoked by like the amount of response. I'm so happy to see all this. We are going to go ahead and take a few last final questions. The reason why I wanted to make sure we allow at least 20 minutes for this last Q&A segment is because you guys just experienced it firsthand, right? Like a lot of people just paired with us and saw the flow. If you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, any thoughts, any ideas on this experience in particular, or pairs in general, or use cases that we covered, now is the time to ask a question. Just drop it in the chat, and this is your live Q&A time. So let's go. All right. Rui says, when does this new feature come out? Great question. It's already out. So the original pairs were around for almost 5 years now, and the pairs 2.0 are launching as we speak. So we had silent launch a few weeks ago. Is that right, Matt? And then all these features
Yeah,
and all
and
these
we're
new updates.
progressively,
Yeah.
exactly, we're progressively rolling it out, but now everyone should have access to it. So go ahead, it's there in your account, so give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, all the things that we demonstrated right now are available to every Restream creator. Awesome.
That's right.
Matthew is asking, shout me out and I'll stream on Restream today. Shout out, Matthew. Does that work? Yeah, would
Nice.
love to see. Yeah, would love to see. And yeah, like I said, we will be going back to those people who paired today, and we will be reaching out to you, either us personally or through our support team, and we will be giving you that additional months of Restream Pro, because we are so proud of your bravery and your courage. That was awesome. I'm so grateful that you guys paired with us and amplified our message today. Ricky is asking, so can we have people add their streams while the broadcast is live again? Because for time, it seemed, I think we already had that question earlier, but the answer to that question for those who is just joining or who was busy pairing earlier is yes, you can totally do that. We just demonstrated it live with the current community and the current audience. You can connect your channels in real time, and you do not have to pair in advance. You can. It might be advised for some events, but you absolutely could do it midstream, just like we did a minute ago.
And
Great
if the
question.
question is about the stream itself going live again, you know, the studio links, they are permanent for convenience. So basically, if you have a running show, you don't need to reset the link. You can keep reusing the same link. If you enable pairs on it and you share with specific people, those people, of course, can pair just as you would expect before the show starts or during the show. Again, I think I mentioned this in the beginning. Once the stream ends, all the channels are disconnected. But if you don't reset the link, people can use it again. So be careful who you share the links with, and have sort of control over whether you want to keep it or change it, allow pairing or disable it. It's totally up to you. So hopefully the system is very flexible.
That's awesome. All right. So the Brewlings Network is saying, I'm trying to pair, but I'm not comfortable giving you all that kind of access to control my account. What's another option? Because I want to try this out. Matt, do you want to refresh
Yeah,
the viewers on what is actually given in terms of control and what
absolutely.
is completely secure for you?
So you're not giving away any control over your account. You have the control. Come on, it's your account, right? You can only decide if this particular stream or its part will land on your social media that you connect, right? That's the whole access you're giving. You're not sharing any passwords. You're not sharing any account access. You still own the access. That's why the guest sort of needs to, connect their channels that they have the logins for. Yeah, and if you want to try, the best way to do it is actually with a friend or with a colleague. You can just try a short stream and basically invite them to pair to your upcoming stream and give it a go. That's the easiest part. This way, you're gonna be the host. You decide what content you stream, and yeah, hopefully this way you can really see the benefit.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. James is asking, the ability to start a pyramid stream is going to be very helpful. That is so good to hear. Yeah, we heard that from creators, especially podcasters and people who have multiple different guests, because sometimes it's not always possible to plan pairing in advance. It's also not always possible to, when you have multiple panelists and multiple guests, to get them to agree to pair for the whole thing. I personally wouldn't mind if I was a keynote at SaaStr to also rebroadcast the speeches of other keynotes, but everyone is different. So that ability, I think, was truly crucial for making this a professional feature, something that people who are streaming content at the next level, to make sure that their high-profile guests are comfortable, to make sure that their producers are comfortable, that was the goal, right? Like that was what we were aiming to achieve. Yeah,
All right.
awesome. All right. Right American
Yeah.
Media. I have a paid plan, but when I select a channel, there is no paired tab to click. Interesting. So if you
You can
have,
take this one.
yeah, go ahead.
I think so. First and foremost, pair channels work for studio stream setups and encoder stream setups. It does not work if you're streaming just pre-recorded videos, but for live content, it works. So if you're selecting such a setup in your home screen, on the options menu, you should see pair channels. Or if you go to your channels, there is a tab which is called pair channels. Once you click on it, you should obtain the link. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, I mean, you can show us. Yeah, exactly. That's the button to get the link, or you can also click on Edit Event or the channels, and there's a tab inside the channels model as well. So hopefully you can find it. If not, I'm sure that our folks at support can help you also in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Never hesitate to reach out to our 24/7 human support. Big shout out to them today because I saw them in the chat being absolute champions. Thank you so much for being our
Nice.
moderators and answering a lot of questions. Justin Wynn, Dancer Media. I am a storm chaser here in the US, and this looks like it will work. Oh my God. Is it like the Twisters, the movie, right? Like those guys? Uh,
Possible. Yeah.
I want to find your channel after this stream and follow you because I think this is absolutely fascinating, super courageous and adventurous, and that's the type of content I'll be like really interested in checking out. And yes, to pair for that specific use case, I immediately come up with some ideas of like how that could work. Of course, you could stream it on your own channel, but maybe your local weather channels could pick it up. Maybe your local news channels could pick it up. Maybe a few other collaborators or creators in that same category, but in other regions of the United States could pick up some of your streams because, of course, tornadoes happen very spontaneously. And yeah, restreaming that to other people's channels with instant pairs and midstream pairs could be an idea to amplify and grow. Love it. Great use case. All right, James is saying, hey, y'all, we're live testing directly with the folks from Restream, doing a global Restream pairs to see how far we can push the system. Matt, how do you feel about how far they can push the system?
Let us
I think you're
know how
mute.
far you
Yeah.
can push it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely go for it. Like, we're very curious how far you can push it. Go in full on.
Great question from Rick right here. Can you, the host, see comments from paired channels? Absolutely, yes, we do. We see the comments, and we also should. I'm not see. Oh, okay, yeah, I found one example when the comment is coming from a paired channel. So basically, it's not coming from the main host channel. I'm going to make a quick screenshot right here in a second and show you how that looks on the example of James, actually, out of all people. So the channel that is paired is going to, the comment from that channel is going to appear like this. I'm just going to drop and also obviously showcase our awesome feature of um, images in studio. So this is the difference, right? Like, so the restream comment is something that comes in naturally from the host perspective, and then James' comment is coming from a paired channel. So he is probably watching either on Anya's personal YouTube or on someone else's paired YouTube. But that's how I know that that comment is coming from a paired channel. So I totally see it. I can showcase it. So if I chose to show it, I could also bring it up like this on the screen. But I also have a little hint that this is coming from my guest in case I need that information for whatever purposes as a host. Good question. Let's see if we have anything else. Justin says, I'm convinced. I love it. I'm so happy because
Thank
yeah,
you.
it should be a no-brainer. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting us know that all makes sense. Very smooth now, so that's awesome, says Ricky. Thank you. I'm so glad. Like, if you have any other feedback or thoughts about like how the experience was for you to pair and to connect your channels, let us know. You don't have to do it in the chat. You can always reach out to our support and share because we really want to know how that was and if there's anything we can improve and make it better. Tea time with Lady Let's. Restream is the best of for all for all class. Thank you so much. This
That's nice.
is why, yeah, this is why we wake up every day and feel inspired. This kind of comments are just like literally making my day very smooth now. So that's so awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, this is crazy. Like, this is so good.
Mhm.
Good information, says Independent Joe. You are welcome, of course, anytime. Eva is saying, I'm ready to go live streaming with Restream and hopefully pairing with your guests and partners, because that's how we would love for you to continue. Well, I think we are ready to wrap up. I think I see a comment from our producer that, okay, he's saying we are good on questions. What I will do after this stream is I will definitely go through some of my pair channels, such as LinkedIn and X, and see if there are any comments that we, for some reason, couldn't address. We once again encourage you to reach out to our support at any time. We have superheroes there 24/7, real humans, no bots, and you can talk to them, ask them questions. They're happy to help with technical troubleshooting as well as onboarding and just like helping you to come up with a better setup for your live shows. And we are going to do this more often from what I hear on the team. Live streams are going to be bi-weekly moving on. I will give you a little teaser for the next one that's coming in just 2 weeks. It's going to be me and our CEO, Alex. We are going to talk about viral clips and how you can repurpose your content with vertical clipping, which is done automatically in Restream. So that's an exciting one. We'll definitely announce it soon. And yeah, I just can't thank you guys enough. Big shout out to our producer, Charles, today for managing this all. And big shout out to all the people who were in the chats, engaging, asking questions, sharing, commenting, and especially doing the pairing, because this is such a big deal. Yeah, any last words from you, Matt?
I mean, I'm just grateful that it's perceived as much smoother now. So that was really our goal, because for years we've seen the potential of this feature, and finally it took some time to take it to the next level. And we can't wait to see like what type of content you're gonna stream with it, how you're gonna engage completely new audiences with paired channels, and in turn grow your own audience and help sort of spread your own message. So go for it, test it. It's there, it's available now. And if you have any feedback whatsoever, please let us know. We're always listening.
And of course, if you are streaming or pairing, you can tag us on social media. We're constantly looking for customers to feature, use cases to build case studies around, something to feature on social media. This is something my team marketing is taking care of. So feel free to reach out to me directly or simply tag Restream on any social media where you stream live. We would be happy to pick it up, comment, look at the stuff that you are creating, and possibly feature you if that's something that you're okay with. So thanks again. Happy streaming with us. Lots of hearts real quick from me. And I guess we're going to do the high five because you did great. So let's do it. Boom. High five.
There
Yay.
we go.
Yay. We did it. That's
Nice.
awesome. And thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. We'll be back, and happy live streaming.